In the 59-second countdown.
What? We don't have a second countdown. We're here, Lori. We're live. Hey, man. So we're here. Whoever's watching, I don't know who's watching, but we're doing this thing anyway. We promised we are going to do this. So I wanted to walk through every Romeo Doubs. It's Dobbs. It's not Dubs. Snap from the preseason game, and Lori is a sicko who also wanted to do the same thing roughly. So Lori, I've known you forever. I think we've only talked. This is our second time, but I've always been a fan of you, Lori. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. I've been trying to avoid you, so this is now. I'm just kidding.
More than fair.
Yeah, no, it's I'm happy to jump on honestly because I haven't really got to talk a lot of football with many people. I'm sticking to myself, writing my articles and in
Hmm.
my dungeon basement, and not
Yeah.
talking to anybody. So it's good to kind of get out, see the light a little bit, and go through some film with somebody else besides my own crazy self. So
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm in the same boat. I write for a handful of sites. So I talk to some people sometimes, but generally I go full goblin once I get the film and I go underground. I don't know how you operate, Lori. I typically try to I try not to read anything until I've written what I want to write because I don't want anything else to kind of like color my perception. I guess I'll read like coaches stuff because that helps, but the other stuff other people write. So I really will just kind of go lock down, try not to read anything, and then just go through it all. Which yeah, then I come up from Arrow like 3 days later. I'm like, okay, there's a world out here as well.
yeah, no, I'm a little bit similar, but I'm a lot worse on the whole writing side, like putting it together.
Mm,
So I may look up other people's work just to kind of get the verbiage together
okay,
to actually put together an intro.
sure.
The film side, though, I don't really need any help with that. I just kind of it spits out. But the actual writing and putting a story together, like the proper writing,
Hmm.
all that. That's a little difficult for me, but I'm getting there. This is, I think, my second year, starting my second year now with
Yeah.
Touchdown Wire. Luckily, Doug Farrar has been nice enough to keep me on because he believes in me, and they've put a lot of resources to help me out, and I'm
Hmm.
super thankful for them. So I'm getting better every single day, writing more articles, just trying to grind it out.
Yeah, no, listen, man, you're killing it. I mean, I try to tell you as often as I can. The group over there, you, Doug, and Mark, what you guys are doing is amazing. I've been a fan of Doug since he was, I think, one of the founders of Football Outsiders. So I followed him for a very long time. His book that he wrote, a few years ago, is one of my all time favorite football books. So I was thrilled. Yes. Oh man, I love that book so much. I was thrilled when you joined, and you've been absolutely killing it over there. So I guess before we get in, you actually talked about Dobbs, I believe, like somewhat recently, right? You wrote something on. I think you had him as a player to watch, if I'm not mistaken, over on Touchdown Wire.
Yeah, I did. I believe it was only a few weeks ago, just a guy to watch when preseason started, just to see kind of who's going to be that guy on not each roster, but some of the
Hmm.
rosters that are really going to find their way onto being a favorite. And so far, yeah, Dobbs is killing it, man. Him and Aaron Rodgers, they're becoming biffles. So
Yeah, we had heard a lot of stuff about him. Obviously, I'm not at camp, but there'd been a bunch of hype, and I was kind of curious what the outside perspective of him was. And I saw your article, but like going into this before you started watching anything of his, what was your perspective on kind of what you had heard that he was kind of a rising up and coming guy, potentially a big contributor this year? Like, what was that hype like for you before you started watching him?
Well, I think that it wasn't like too crazy, but until he joined the team with Aaron Rodgers, then it's like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
because any good quarterback can kind of turn a mediocre wide receiver into an amazing player.
Hmm.
So that's really when he kind of like came on the map, in terms of like just being more, known as a household name.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, otherwise it was a little quiet. I'm not gonna lie. So it's good that you guys kind of jumped on board early on. I was a little bit later though. So
Yeah, we've been fitting him for the gold jacket already in Green Bay for a while now. Before even he caught that touchdown pass, like, all right, well, man, well, here it is, one preseason touchdown, we're ready to go. All right, dude, let's get to it. So what we thought we would do again, man, no frills. This is just we haven't really planned this at all, but we're gonna walk through every I think it's 28, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 11 rushing, 17 passing. I think was a snap breakdown in that preseason game. So we're going to go through it. And some of these we'll probably spend a little bit of time on. Some of these we probably won't spend a ton of time at all. But in fact, this first one we probably won't spend a lot of time on at all. But if you guys are ready, I think we're going to go. Lori,
Let's
good,
do it.
man? All right, dude. All right. First snap, and this one's going to be relatively easy. So this is, and what we're going to do, we're going to kind of talk and stop and whatever. And I think it's going to be handoff there. This one we probably won't do it too much for. That's just RPO, and he's running the bubble on the RPO. And the way the Packers typically run these little bubbles, which is based on what they did last year, was like 51% of their RPOs have the bubble tag on it. It's a straight numbers game. So you say, you've got 2 men over here. Do you have 2 blockers? Yes, I have 2 blockers. Then you throw it. Do I have 2 blockers? No, I do not. They don't throw it. They don't have 2 blockers. So it's an easy read. You can see Love kind of looking over. Handoff. He runs the bubble. He does a fine job with the bubble. He fades laterally. There's nothing much to say. He does fine there. He does fine. The next run one, I think this is a bad one, if I'm not mistaken.
He is down at the bottom of your screen.
That's him. And I think on this one, and we'll kind of roll through it, I think he's going to seal off. And this one, I mean, this is like we kind of talked about ahead of time. This is the one that I kind of want to talk about. This is why I want to talk about any of the runs. And you can see him. You see it more from the back angle.
Oh, yeah. He missed that. He kind of went behind him, try to get that outside shoulder.
Well, the thing is, like, I initially thought he's going to block that guy. I initially thought this guy kind of eluded him. He doesn't even see him. Like Doubs has him, Doubs dead to rights, and he just kind of slides under. So he kind of tries to body him. He's got, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Lori?
Yeah,
that's like he gets no hands up, right?
He goes, if this guy wants to stand in front of me, he's going to get my shoulder.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
And what's your, I mean, I know my general take on rookies as far as blocking is a lot of these guys don't do that a whole lot in college. So I'm looking more for like willingness more than say technique or something on that. And so the fact that he's going for it, like I'm fine with that. But at the same time, like, I don't know, man, get your hands up or something, right? Like it's not concerning. Not blowing it off entirely. So it's not a red flag. It's just it's a whiff. But
he hasn't even been hit yet in this game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and it's his very first game. So in an NFL uniform, and he hasn't even gotten like the jitters off yet. And the first thing you're asked to do is block a linebacker for a run play. I don't blame him for doing this. I just don't think, once he maybe gets hit, then I think he'll kind of be more willing to kind of stand in front of him there.
Okay.
But this, I just think, he's a rookie. He's kind of getting his feet wet. Maybe he didn't want to get run over because this guy definitely lowered his shoulder. He was ready for him.
Yeah, and he looks like too. He's kind of this guy's being blindsided. I'll just kind of lean into him. You don't have to do much. You're trying to seal the edge, and that guy ends up basically taking away the edge there. He ends up making the tackle in the backfield. So bad miss, but yeah, I'm with you. I mean,
bad rep.
It's a bad rep. I like your perspective on that though. I just generally go, he didn't get his hands up.
I'm a little bit nicer, It's like, yeah, no, I know.
Said that. Let's see. So he is, I think he's down there, if I'm not mistaken. And this is going to be, and this one's a good rep. It's a different kind of block, but it's a read. This is the read option. I think Love had 2 read options in the game. So this is one of them. And he just kind of carries it.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty well here.
Yeah, like he doesn't. I mean, you're not going to see a wide receiver lock up, so he's not locking up.
Yeah.
But like,
he's not going to hold that for very long.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job. He pushes, and then as soon as he recognizes, he kind of gets into him there, and sticks with him. Like the guy disengages, and he still sticks with him and keeps shoving. That was one. I mean, I like that it comes on the back of the other one because like he didn't get his hands up, he whiffed on that block, and then you immediately follow with this one.
Yeah,
this was
he recovered really well. And what I like about that is as he's running downfield, he's pushing the guy where his power is the most, and he's still winning. Like he's trying to get leverage on him. So if you back up just a tiny bit when he's actually running like down the field, you'll see here like to kind of push him off balance. He's pushing on like the side where the guy's trying to get his leverage back, and Doubs is like, "No way, you're not gonna get that leverage back from me." and he's pushing on him to make him step backwards. Instead of kind of like being passive and maybe taking him where he wants to go, he goes, dang, on that last play, I didn't even want to get in front of the guy, but now I'm going to try to overpower him. And I think he does a pretty good job here.
No, I like that. That's I mean, honestly, that's something I hadn't really thought about. I look at it from he got a good block, he got his hands up, initial punch, stays with it. But as far as kind of using the leverage there, it's a good point. I like that. I mean, yeah, it's a nice route. It's a good route. This one, let's see. So he is going to be, and I think this is going to be RPO. I think they're bubbling the other way, and he's a blocker here. I don't even remember what he does on this one. So this is why I need to do more homework before I start looking at this stuff. No, that's him. Bubbles, right? He bubbles and then blocks.
The opposite side. So I think he just tries to get away. And maybe if there were two safeties over the top, him going outside, like faking the fade, would maybe pull that other safety. But there's only one safety, so he's only going to take his guy and maybe take it away. But
and then he kind of gets the block. And that's, I mean, the same thing for this one. Like that bubble, they'll even throw smoke sometimes. If this guy was back here, if that guy's 7-8 yards off, that gets looked at as thrown, but that's press. Like love, and everyone looks at him. So it's basically like I've got my guy. As soon as he recognizes, I mean, he's as far away from the play as literally anyone else on the field. He gets his hands on. That's a wide receiver block. That's listen, we don't really want to do this, but let's just both get our hands on each other so we don't get yelled at in the coaching room.
That's like an outfielder in like softball or baseball when you're like 8 and you're watching the play. Both of these guys are just watching to see what's going to happen.
We're gonna look at this in the film room, and I want to at least make it look like a game effort. This is one. Let's play this one. 3rd and 1. I got this little header up here so we can at least see down and distance because that's always important.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Let's see. So he is in
Another
the slot.
blocking,
I think he's the stick option. I think this is RPO stick. So he's the stick guy there. There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, that's another one that the Packers won't throw that. They would throw that to Devontae, but this is pre-snap where if that guy's 7 yards off, he'll push up and then they may throw that out. But with that press on him, that's never even going to be considered. But he does a good job. He pushes that inside shoulder, gets him back on his heels a little bit. Like that's not going to be thrown, but that's what you want him to do in that situation.
I think is that in Ohio, I believe.
I'm bad with that stuff. I'm general stuff I'm good with. Could be.
Yeah, I think it's so he actually gets this ball, but later, and I think he runs like an actual like out route, like he runs like 8 to 10 yards.
Yeah, this is more of kind of like a fading.
I
don't know, flat. Basically, it's a deeper flat, more or less.
Yeah, like you're saying, he's just basically just kind of like getting out of the way there. But
and that's their tag on that is basically like that's what you do. And if the guy you do it either way, you'll just get the ball if the guy's 7 yards off. If the guy's pressed, like you're never getting that ball. Not on this because I think this is what that's inside zone. I'm bad with inside zone versus duo. That looks like we got some double teams there. You got the guy underneath. That's probably duo, I guess, probably. But yeah. We'll get to the passing one.
Looks like it is duo.
It looks like it. I'm bad with that. I look at the I don't know what you do. I look at if you insert the guy there because you're looking for as many double teams, right?
So I'm looking at the center to see what he does first.
And you get those guys there. You get like 2 double teams. I see like how many double teams are you looking to do? So expand on that, I guess, Laura. Let's go to the end zone angle. When you say you look at the center to see what he does, like what about because I think he's gonna go left, right? He's blocking center. I think they're gonna double team there and then there. Yeah. And that's basically is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, so I just watch what side does he go to first? And then I look at basically the opposite side. Okay. Because either you're going up the A gap or obviously another gap. So A gap would be the center side. So you basically just look, okay, where's the center going? So I know which side of the A gap, which, left side of the A gap or right.
Sure.
And then I look at the guy opposite him to see where he goes. So
okay.
But yeah,
because I mean that's my understanding of duo. I mean, what's the tenet? It's power without the pulling, and it's trying to get at least 2 double teams up there because you insert that wide receiver and then depending on how stuff shakes out, maybe he's a part of it. But you're really trying to you're trying to ram that sucker up the middle. So you're trying to
Yep.
create movement up the middle with a couple double teams. I mean, that's
Yeah.
more or less that's the main thing we're looking at, right?
Basically, yep.
Okay. I always just tag as inside zone because I'm lazy and I don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to figure out if it's duo. But it's always something that I kind of look at more. So thanks, Lori.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, this
I didn't
is
really add much value, but
no, you did. No, you did. I don't have any keys I'm looking at. I'm really just saying it doesn't even matter. It's the I'm looking at, are you getting two double teams or trying to get two double teams, which you can have a duo call where you're still not getting those double teams if they're kind of overloading some side. So if I don't see that, I write that off as like, that's not duo. They didn't get two double teams, but I don't have my keys I'm looking for. So looking at, say, center, what center's moving and then the opposite guard's doing, that's a key that I'd not had before.
Yeah.
So listen, it added value to me, and that's really all I care about, Lori. All right, what do we got here? I mean, this is like,
oh wow,
yeah, that's the same basic thing. I mean, he's trying to chip down here, right? Like
but
that's a quick one. That's a tough one.
But the way that this actually plays out is surprisingly amazing for him. Like somehow he misses every single block, and yet the guy still gets 10 yards.
I was going to say his missed block. So yeah, his missed block. So he's trying.
He still leads him somehow.
He's trying to chip down here. This guy ends up like basically taking away the edge, but in doing so creates a cutback lane. So like instead of going outside off the screen, apparently he gets that lane because he gets, what's he get, like 12 yards on this or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, good amount.
Yeah, so because that's the same thing, no hands. And this one, when I was looking at this was, the hands didn't concern me too much because you're trying to get the edge, and the way that guy's leaning, if you chip him, if you just get a piece and knock him inside a little bit, you've done your job because you've kind of cleared the edge there. He doesn't get anything of him, but then you get the pulling tackle. So Nyman comes over, picks him up.
Yeah.
Then you have Davis leading through the hole, and then he cuts it. I do like Doubs kind of looks back. He's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
He cuts back up, looks for a blocker. Davis gets a nice block. He ends up blocking.
Yeah, then he gets laid out.
He got this was Tyler Goodson. Goodson got like two of these just absolutely planted in this game. And that he's like, I don't know, 5'9", 5'10" or something. I mean, he's coming over there. Just absolutely no, from the top. Yeah, he gets destroyed. Yeah, you're right. He does. This is a bad rep from him. It still ends up amazingly well because he cuts back against instead of taking the edge, he takes a cutback lane.
Yeah, that vision.
Yeah, the guy who was supposed to. It's too bad for the guy in the edge. He was going to get chipped down on by a wide receiver, and instead the left tackle picks him up and drives him out of the play. That's bad luck, man.
That's the premise of zone anyway. Honestly, is whoever you can pick up, then the running back just basically uses his vision and makes his own way. And just as long as Doubs didn't stand there and do nothing, he continued to go upfield, and so he was a blocker even though he didn't really.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. He missed his assignment, and you could see he thought for a second about going back, and then he ended up just going to look for another one. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier when I'm looking at, especially like rookie guys. These guys weren't asked to do a whole lot, so for me, it's less. Was this technically perfect? Like, no, probably not. But he understood the assignment, and he was willing to look for another assignment when he didn't get that one. He tried to chip down, he missed it, and so then he looked for the next guy up. And so for me, it's always because for wide receiver, a lot of the blocking is like, are you just get in the guy's way, man. Like you're just trying to bother some of these guys. And I think in the floor system, you're asking more of these guys than some of this. But the fact that he's willing to do that, I think, speaks more than the fact that he missed that block.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like gap scheme where if you miss it and you don't, build the whole lane up the side of the thing, then it's all blowing up. That's the good thing about zone, right?
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, it's what Anthony Munoz called tracks on a train or something. You're going down the line, you're blocking who's in front of you. If you don't get it, the guy behind you hopefully will clean it up, and that's what we saw there. All right, this is inside zone. I don't know why I put the charting up here, Lori. I'm real lazy with my charting. I get real general with stuff. So this is inside zone. These are blocking up. And he holds that block there. He's on the end there. Again, willingness, does what he's supposed to do. That play is not going to him, but if it gets bounced, he's in a good position to do something. So that's That's fine. That's a
Yeah,
perfectly solid rep there.
I think the only reason why he didn't turn him is because if it gets bounced, But I
Yeah.
would have like he was already on an outside shade, so
Hmm.
I would think that he would want to turn him. But like you said, if he does bounce it out, then you kind of you let
Yeah,
him
yeah,
play.
not
So
and I don't know what the technique is on all of that. I mean, I'm with you. I would think. I mean, I say bounce out, and I'm thinking more. He's trying to hit here, and so he's probably not going out there. He's probably going more there. You would still want to be blocking out as opposed to, and like you said, with that the technique of that corner that should have been easy-ish to get that, and he kind of ducks it inside right before he
well,
goes. But you would like to
that's the
see him
thing.
block out a little more.
I don't like because he can't see,
Yeah.
what is happening behind him. There may be a chance where the running back does bounce it
Mhm.
outside that far. And if he does turn him, push him to the outside, he could be pushing him right into him. So he's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm just going to push him
Yeah.
straight and the running back can decide. I'm not going to put the guy in his way. Like, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to try to push straight. He's trying to do my job, sir. You know?
Well, that's the thing with this too. It's he got hands on him, he blocked him backwards. To me, as a wide receiver away from the play off of inside zone, that's a good rep. You got
Yeah, it's a
hands on
win,
him,
right?
you pushed him. That's a win. You absolutely take that. This just apropos of nothing. That certainly looks like he's grabbing that dude's face mask. Right,
Definitely.
like real bad there. So that was, but hey, good on Nyman there. He takes the punch.
Team player.
Team player. All right. I think we've got 4 more runs. This is down here is where he is. I got this as a draw, and so it's kind of a delayed. Yeah, sell that kind of go. I mean, he doesn't do much there, but that's a draw. I mean, you're not, and that's second 11. It's not like 3rd and 20 or anything. But again, you're away from the play. You get hands on the guy. The cornerback's not really trying. You're not really trying. I'm going to call that fine. I'm going to call that fine. Where is he here?
Bottom of your screen.
Bottom of my
Look.
screen. Stack. Off.
Way off.
Yeah.
Another planet off.
And that's just getting inside of that guy and blocking out in case that cutback comes, which is a good job. He shadows him down. Lori, I'm bad with my terminology, man. I call this I don't know, shadow block. He's shadowing the guy. He's trying to get in front of him. I have in my notes, shadow block right. What is this? He's just trying to seal him off, basically. He's trying to get an angle, slow play.
He's just trying to get in front of him.
Back.
Yeah, he's mirroring him. And he's looking at his eyes. And he's looking at his eyes because as soon as his eyes light up, he knows that he has to then engage, because otherwise he's just watching them. Hey, what are you doing? What are your mannerisms like? Is my running back running towards us or not?
Don't block till you see the whites of their eyes. I like it. And he stays on the whole way. I mean, that's what you want to see. He stays inside. He doesn't do anything. He's in position to make that block if that sucker cuts back.
Well, honestly, you know how scared I would be as a rookie receiver, like, to know all the rules. Like, am I allowed to block this guy? Like, because I'm on offense, and like, what if he's turned a certain way, and if I put his hands on him and he falls, like, as like a, he's flopping. Like, am I gonna get a call? How about just don't touch him unless the play comes your way?
Yeah, if that guy advances, I'll get hands on him. Other than that, it's just I won't do anything to you if you don't do anything to
exactly.
me. Kind of
mutual agreement.
I like it. All right, we've got 2 more. Where is he here? I believe that's him on the outside, if I'm not mistaken. That was a big circle. That's a big circle. He motions in.
He's like, bunch. Oh crap.
Speed it up here. He just kind of plays it out. And this is another RPO. So they're looking, and this is a numbers thing. It is funny. Boy, that's a highlighter. That's not what I wanted. It is funny how they treat this without Devontae, because you would always have guys off. So he's bubbling out. That's bad. He's like that. And you kind of like are blocking down. And so you look at numbers, right? So that's 3-on-3. You want 2 guys over there, and then you throw that. But all those guys are so close, dude. With Devontae, you get a guy off, and then you throw that because that you have a guy, say, out here, and he's kind of out of the mix.
Yeah.
they're not afraid of any of these dudes, and so they just kind
No,
of back
and
them
it's
all
the
up.
whole game too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
on passing downs too, like he's in his face. Like he just burned you twice and you're still in his face. Like what are you doing? We'll get to that though, right?
We're gonna get to that. We've got one more run, and then we're gonna get to that. Yeah, it is funny. I think. Well, and it's preseason and it's love, so who knows? But during the season, Rogers threw on the RPO game. Rogers threw on like 20% of the RPO routes. They threw, I think, one of 12 of RPOs. Just because it's stuff like this, like you don't have the numbers because they're pressing. You don't have that advantage, so it doesn't get thrown. It was the right call to run it. I'm curious how that plays out once the season starts. Because it is such kind of a different approach. This is outside, so that's him up top. I'm going to highlight him. That's wide zone. They're going to pitch this way, and the same thing. I mean, he does a good job. He lets the guy get inside of him, but initial is good. He works that, speeds out, so he's in position. He ends up kind of running himself out of position. But by that point, it doesn't really matter. But I'd say the end needs to be better. He's kind of off balance there a little bit at the top. But he does a nice job kind of getting out where he needs to be in shadowing initially, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think so. Could you play it from the beginning one more time?
Yes.
Does he peek and see like which direction this is going? Because if it goes his way, maybe he picks up the linebacker, and that's why he goes a little more shallow. Like, doesn't it look like that kind of? Oh, because he's selling the bootleg.
I think he's selling the boot. Yeah, I think it's just head down. I don't think he's peeking at anything. I think it's just yeah. He's playing out, and that's actually a really good point. There's not really a contingency plan there, right? And maybe there doesn't need to be. Preseason more than anything. I watch a football game, a regular season football game, and like I know 10% of what's going on. Maybe preseason is less because I don't know what the coaching points were here. I don't know if they're working on something. Just put your head down, run your thing, do this. Don't worry about it. The other stuff is kind of advanced, perhaps. But yeah, it looks like he's selling. Basically, got his head down selling that thing. That's basically it.
Yeah, I think he's hoping that 20 kind of cuts in a little bit more and leaves the whole outside the numbers wide open.
So or he's just looking at his benchmark. I'm getting to my 10-yard, 7-yard mark or whatever, and then I'm looking back, and that's the only thought in his head. I mean, that's him right there, and it's done at this point. But he's 2 yards deeper. He kind of ran himself out of position, but overall, Lori, I mean, the run game is certainly not my specialty. I don't know if it's your specialty. Overall impressions of what he did in the run game from what we just saw.
Not bad for him just getting out there for the very first time. He's kind of wide bodied, so I would expect his feet to be a little bit quicker, to be able to kind of like get horizontal a little bit better. But we'll get there. I think it's still early, like you're saying. So,
and I do think he gets a little wide with his feet at times, which kind of that change of direction makes that a little harder. He's out of position a little bit more, but yeah, I think for me personally, I mean, first preseason game, and you're talking about run blocking, I'm perfectly happy with his performance. He had 2 whiffs. That last one was a bad angle, but for the most part, I think of those 11 reps, I think most of them were at worst neutral, and most of them were actually pretty good. So
yeah, I think he followed through there. I've definitely seen guys that are a lot lazier in the blocking part of the game, where they don't even act like they're getting it. Like, come on, at least pretend.
And and that's the thing is,
he does an okay job.
For a rookie, it's just, are you willing to do it? And he passed that threshold, and so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I end up sitting. Hey, it's the fun stuff, Lori. This is
what I actually have notes for, so it'll look like I'm somewhat prepared. The last one, hopefully we didn't lose anybody.
You did better than me, man. You did better than me. All right, so he's doing. I think he's left.
That's so funny that you circled him, because I wrote in big capital letters "yellow shoes" because that was the first thing that was the first set of clips that I watched, and then 2 clips in, I was like, "That's not him."
Yeah, I got really confused with that. And the yellow shoes I should have picked up on. I think it's him. I think it's Winfrey. I think him and Winfrey, at least from this angle, look about the same size and move roughly the same. And so I had what's that? 8? Yeah, I think it's Winfrey. Yeah.
And the 8 on the one side, I was like, "Oh, that's 87." And then, like, he turned around, I was like, "That's 88." So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I ran into the exact same problem. That's him up on the top, and he's doing they're working like a I mean, this one, I mean, I could talk about this one, but, all day, but he's kind of running like a little slant under that corner on the outside.
mhm,
This looks like, and this to me, Lori, I'm curious your thoughts on this because my thoughts on this, and this is third and four. This is the first third down. So the Packers run on first and second, pick up 6 yards. This is the first pass of the game. They go into, I mean, kind of like a deep smash, and I think that's DeGuara. I think if
mhm.
I'm not mistaken. It looks to me now if we look at like his footwork and Love's set to throw, I think he doesn't cut till here, and he kind of gets bodied. DeGuara gets bodied on the way up. This has nothing to do with Dobbs, but since you're here, this
Oh,
was kind
okay.
of my thought. He gets bodied a little bit, but he like that ball's out. He's not out of his cut.
He didn't win that even remotely.
Ball's out there, and he is not cutting until there. So I mean, to me, and that's again, this is Dobbs is up here. He runs a slant. That's not going to him. Whatever. I think he does a fine job. He gets inside position. But to me, I saw this one initially, and this is an instance of when I was watching live. This looks like an overthrow, and then I saw this and was like, I think he's thrown to a landmark, and DeGuara is nowhere close to being where he needs to be when he needs to be there. Is that kind of your impression on this?
Could you run it back more? I was actually watching Dobbs the whole time until just
Okay,
that last. Okay, so he's in the slot.
so he kind of gets
Okay,
bodied.
he didn't move that defender at all.
Mm-mm.
And since he's going to the outside, he wants to move him to the inside at least a little bit. And the defender is outside the entire time. So there was just no way, like, unless he did a better head fake, like at his break, like right
Jab
around
step
here,
inside, something,
something,
yeah.
just look the other way to get the defender to go inside at least a tiny bit. And he didn't do that. And so there was just no chance that he was going to win this. He just got bodied like the whole time, no leverage. He looks the wrong ways. Where is he looking right now?
I don't know. I don't know if he's looking at the safety. I think he's just trying to run straight ahead. But that's the thing. So
Yeah,
his
now he's trying to get around him when it should have been more like, I'm not saying he should have made a 90-degree angle cut, but
yeah,
now he has to work his way around the defender and they're both running straight. So
yeah.
he overran that, like you said, like,
What he's got, so that's his cut point. I'm gonna stop it again because his basically his landmark to hit that cut is 30 and the ball's out. I mean,
yeah.
he basically hits his back foot, throws. He's 6 yards. Love's in the windup. He's 6 yards from even where the cut is before that's out. Like that's to me, that was just that seems like a very bad route. And maybe it's a bit of an overthrow, but it doesn't look like that bad of an overthrow if DeGuara is where he needs to be when he needs to be there.
Yeah, no, I
Again,
think yeah, I think he cuts it a little bit too late and it's
you know,
because he had a terrible release
yeah.
and
I,
he didn't move the defender where he should have moved. But
yeah,
wait, can you go back to Dobbs though?
again.
Um because I don't know why he didn't throw this to him.
Yeah.
I
No, and
he
that's the
mu-
thing. I think he did well on that. They banjo that. He gets inside. I mean, if you they need 4 yards. If that's out in front of him, I mean, he wins that. If that's out in front of him, he can use his hands and catch that.
and I think because he won that route, like they must have told if that's Love back there, come on, you
Yeah.
got to give this guy the ball. Like it's 3rd and 4 and you just lose the drive right there because you decide to throw it to a guy who didn't win his release compared to the guy who we're watching, Dobbs. He completely won it. Like he runs to the outside first to move the defender
Hmm.
outside and then he cuts it
Yep.
in. Perfect. Goes
Yeah. Yeah.
outside a
He
little
is. It
bit
kind of fades out. Hard cut.
because look how far inside the defender is. He
Hmm.
has to move him at least a little bit. So
Yeah.
he
And he
tries to
hard
take those short steps so
when
that the
he
defender breaks towards the ball because he's like, okay, maybe he's running a curl route, maybe,
yeah.
and then
When he hard cuts
cuts
and
it.
immediately turns his body too, like he immediately presents a target. Like he's got him kind of half boxed out at this point too. Like that's all in all, that yeah, very good rep for him. I hadn't thought that much like that closely about it. But
He's
he does
showing him
he
his
does
chest.
yeah, he does everything that you want to do
Look
right
at
there.
that.
And yeah.
His front shoulder is in front of the defender. He's basically trying to stack him at this point.
Well, and you've got a clear throwing lane right there. Like the blocking holds up exactly as it's supposed to do. You got the wall there, and you've got the lane for that quick hitter right there as well. Like that's
He's staring
if
at him.
if I were to guess, what it is, Okay, 3rd and 4, you take that. But with the mug you got up here,
Yeah,
it muddies the waters a bit more. So I bet Love is thinking, and listen, it's 3rd and 4. You
they're
can
gonna
take that, but
drop.
you got to read that out a little bit at that point. Yeah, but it's basically like if you read that and he drops out, that's dead. And so I think for him, yeah, this is just totally guessing. He does this like because he's like, well, over here, I know. Okay, I've got single high. I've got a down lineman here, like what is it, like wide
Yeah,
12,
like
essentially lineman out there. And then
oh my god,
I've got
I
that.
didn't
Yeah.
even notice that until just now.
Yeah.
Holy
He's
crap! Look
he's
how far
splitting.
out he
Yeah.
is.
No, they're in condensed formation, but he's
Talk
splitting
about
those
Y
guys.
nine.
Yeah.
Jesus, nine
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, seriously. So I think he's like, oh, that's a cleaner read over there. I know the safety's not gonna be able to get there. So I'm just gonna throw that. And if these guys drop, it kills that anyway. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that probably is. That's 3rd and 4. They're looking at the pictures on the sideline going, listen, he won that handedly. Like that needs to go there. And then I think he gets 7 targets. Like they had one, I think a stretch where it's like 3 straight targets to Dobbs. Actually, I'm looking at it now. On passing plays, he had four in a row at a certain point. So just give it to that guy, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one. He is going to be, he's on the bottom right there. He's going to kind of run a little slant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He's pointing at something.
You've got
notes, Lori.
He goes into zone
Mm-hmm.
Because of the motion. So he's running the slant inside.
Yeah, like a little dragon slant flat with a sit, kind of a deep slant on that.
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes, I mean, that's the right read there.
Because he's got outside leverage.
Mm-hmm.
The corner.
That's a bad throw. Yeah, it's outside, and then he even waits.
There are a lot of bad throws in this game.
Man, honestly, that's the thing that kind of concerned me a little bit with him. It's not the interceptions because you threw the 3 picks, and a lot of those, there's been a lot of talk about those. You can write some of those off. The lack of consistency on some of this shorter stuff, like this is a gimme right here. And this happened at least one other time. And that was kind of the book on him at Utah State. Like that's more concerning to me than the 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
And another one we'll look at. But yeah, I think he does what he's supposed to do. He pushes that inside shoulder, cuts where he's supposed to cut, doesn't get the ball. Good rep.
He tries to run as close as he can to that defender without hitting him.
Yeah.
just to get his running back open.
No, that's true. Yeah, no, he does a very good job with it. All right, this one is this is just a takeoff, I think. I think this is a running back screen, and he just run far, take that man out of the play. But I mean, even then, like you see kind of what he did on that touchdown, that footwork at the line, he sells that inside really well. Like he really attacks that shoulder and then gets outside to stack. You don't see how it plays out because it goes running back screen, but I really like that release. I like that release a lot.
I love that release, but not against what he's seeing right now. So I think he does. I think he does way too much. So I think
it is a lot of feet.
He must have, because look how he has the whole entire side of the field. This cornerback is barely even in front of him. Maybe like his pinky toe is in front of him, but that's about it. Like his left pinky toe.
Yeah, he's shaded in. Yeah.
So why are you taking 4 steps on the inside to move him even more inside? You're already going to be open.
So you would like to see just like a single jab step and then cut outside because you've got the room, you moved him.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does on the touchdown pass. He goes, okay, let me eliminate all those extra steps. I'm going to take 1 jab step and cut it right upfield. And that's exactly what he does for the next 2 passes. And he gets wide open.
I like it. In fact, we're going to get to one of those now then. So he's on the right. He's top now. There he is. Over the top. And then, so this is the one you're talking about. No, touchdown is the next play we're going to look at. Yeah,
this one's overthrown, but.
Oh, so this one, he takes the jab step out.
Yeah, inside now. Yeah, exactly.
We'll look at that. So he goes. That's much quicker. It's basically the jab step out, and he wins on that. It gets overthrown by a couple yards or thrown inside a little bit or something. But that is. But even that shade isn't as much as it was on the last one either. Because the last one, like you said, he was shaded very much inside. He's playing outside shoulder there, but not by a ton. But he still does enough just to move him to create that space.
He's taking his route whichever way the shade is not, So like he's like, okay, he's gonna shade me the other way now because he thinks I'm going outside because I went that way the last play. Then I'm gonna go inside and just do one step because coach told me I'm way faster than this guy. So why am I doing so much? So he does that twice in a row. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next time I think the corner gets a little bit inside now, and now this is the touchdown.
This is the touchdown. Yeah. So we'll look at that one since we're kind of in there anyway.
So look, he's back in the inside again.
They put him
The
in the
corner.
slot. Yeah. They've got him back inside. And so this is just basically a simple jab step. And then he wins.
See how far the cornerback is inside? So he's
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing, just that
I
one
can't
little
remember if you
jab
can
step
see him
and
on the
take it
other one,
out.
but yeah, he kind of takes like two short steps for him, jab step fade.
Yeah,
I mean,
on that. Yeah,
he's by him. I mean, this one, like he kills that guy. Like he's 5 yards down the field and he's already got a yard on him. And then he kind of fades out there as well, kind of keeps stacking that.
yeah, it's like a single move release. So it's just
Mhm.
a burst off of your plant foot. So he takes literally one step with his left, one step there, and then the
Mhm.
inside cut, and then he bursts off of
Then he's
that
out.
yeah that same foot.
Yeah, and he
Um,
gets if you watch the corner, like the corner is completely flat. Like he doesn't move. He's kind of leaning. He's trying to get hands, but he doesn't. Tremendous route. Tremendous
oh yeah,
route and Love. I mean, I talked about this before. Like I heard some people saying he should have gone to DeGuara. DeGuara's uncovered. You need 3 yards? It's fourth down, and maybe he should have. That guy's screaming down though. You don't know what's going to happen with the mug stuff in the middle. And I think his read was he peeks over and sees that safety kind of coming down and like, okay, well I know I've got Doubs on the outside. I'm taking that.
he's the safety's on the other hash, so
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
basically cover zero on the right side of the field.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, and it's mirrored. And so I talked about this before, but you've got I mean, that's pre-snap stuff, then, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that you split that
100.
down the middle. This guy, I've got the safety over here, so I'm not taking that. If the
Like you
safety
said,
takes away that guy there, that means I'm going there. Like that's
numbers
exactly that
game.
plays out.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, 2-on-2, and Dobbs he's gonna win 1-on-1s.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially with a guy that close. And I don't know who that defender is, but if you're not like this, the
33.
starter
Yeah.
like outside corner, they match that up perfectly. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
who that is, but
I'm looking this up. That may be. I think that is one of their starters. Actually, I mean, not like a top line guy, but maybe that's
but
well,
an
starter 3 or
outside
4. Yeah.
corner.
Might be their slot guy. I can't remember who it is. I looked it up and now I don't have notes on it because I'm bad at this. But yeah, I mean that very much is it's a numbers thing, and also if I don't like this look, I'm going opposite side because the safety's not there, and I have faith that my guy's going to win. And I mean, you can see, I looked at this before, like Love, just you can see his footwork too. Like he's ready to throw hot, and then as soon as he sees that safety, he like it's all like he's ready to throw.
He's
Drop
moving
back
at.
as
See how he
soon as he
holds
hits
the
that.
safety? Yeah, with his eyes. Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
I
No,
get,
cut it anytime you need to, Lori.
I get all excited, but you see how long he held that safety? Love, he's still holding him right now.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, you can see the stripe. I was watching. A 7-year-old daughter was in the other day, and I was like, "All right, watch the stripe. Watch
Yeah,
the stripe on his helmet. Watch where he's going. Stripes over there, and he keeps his head middle. I mean, because he doesn't need to do anything with that guy. He's not bothering that fade throw. But he looks over, kind of keeps middle, and then as soon as he hits, I mean, that's beautiful from Love. As soon as he hits that top, he's loaded and ready to throw, and just drops a beautiful ball in.
yeah. He doesn't turn his head till he gets to the back of the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's
It's already
beautifully
too
done.
late.
Beautifully done. I say all that. This next one is not beautifully done. So this is just what play action bootleg sale, and I won't do that probably. He's going to be the crosser. So he's the crosser there, and he gets open on it. And Love hits him. You don't, I mean, they don't have a shallow guy, which is odd for this. You've got, looks like that wheel from Winfrey at the backside.
Oh, he's trying to get the screen. Like he's okay.
I guess, yeah. I mean, typically the way they run this, I think he's just showing his body because it's that you get that slam route and he just kind of sits there afterwards. But typically what they'll do, it's weird. I mean, you'd have to have that's a half boot thing. More than anything, I don't know what Winfrey's doing there because he's kind of coming out the back. He's the jet guy. I guess he's just drawing attention, but he's running that wheel up the side. Typically, you've got that flat underneath. It's that 3-level thing, right? It's there. You run a guy into the flat, and usually that slam is the guy that kind of takes advantage of that move. They don't have a flat, which is weird, but he clears it because you got that guy looking at Tyler Davis, and he hits him. I mean, this is one of those that to me, Dobbs does everything he's supposed to do. He comes off the line. I mean, that's that movement. He comes off the line. He works over the linebacker. So he works into the clear. He just keeps running. He has the edge. He does everything he's supposed to do until it comes time to catch the ball, and then he does not catch the ball.
Yeah, that's totally his fault. It's all concentration there. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a tremendous throw from Love. Like he's rolling left under pressure, gets his arm up, puts it right on the numbers, just misses it. So I mean, it's one of those. That's a great rep until it isn't.
Yeah, like
how that one plays out.
He was probably too worried about like getting his feet in, and like he didn't focus on like catching the ball.
Yeah, because he is. He looks down. I mean, I don't know if that means anything. I don't know how you subscribe to this. I don't put a ton of stock into anytime there's a drop. It's he didn't look the ball in. He looked upfield to see what was going on, but he wasn't paying attention. A lot of times guys will go to catch the ball while looking upfield. It's one of those you don't notice that they don't look upfield until the times they drop it. It is something you should do, I guess, is look it in, but I feel like that's every time there's a drop is, well, look, he's looking where he's going. Everyone does that. Everyone looks where they're going as the ball's coming in. It's muscle memory at a certain point, but yeah, he just, again, I don't know. I have a whole lot to say about that other than that it looked really good until it didn't.
Yeah, like maybe he thought it was going to be like, maybe it kind of dropped a little bit, so he had to kind of change his hands from this to this.
Yeah.
Then he looked it in, and then the sideline was right there, and it was just like.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It did look like he looked down, so it may have been as far as maybe like you said, maybe a field awareness thing where he's like, oh, where are my feet? Where am I? And I mean, he was a solid 3 yards from the sideline at that point, but it does look like he kind of looks down.
It was close though. Like,
yeah. Oh, he would have had to like jam a foot to make sure he got in, like as fast as he was moving to the side for sure. Yeah. All right, he is out there, I believe. I think this is kind of a mirrored slant flat. Yeah. He gets that one. He gets that one.
Yeah. He kind of uses his arms a little bit here, like to get that separation at his break. Which is the first time I've seen that.
And yeah, well, that's a tough one too. I mean, you were talking earlier about shade. He's got to win on the slant, but that guy's on. That guy's shading in. That guy's trying to take away the slant. He still is able to get in. He does that little
shimmy,
jump up, split release, push up, use his body to get in. I mean, for a guy that's playing inside on you to still be able to win on that, as well as he does, that's a good solid rep, I think.
Yeah. I think like usually he can move guys with his speed and he can kind of get around them, but like right about here, he kind of hits him. He kind of hits his outside shoulder.
Kind of gets him on the turn there a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he once again, he shows the quarterback his chest. He gets square even, like throw it right here. Like I'm giving you a target. Don't mess this one up.
You can see that's another one. Love kind of works back. Good job with the footwork, but he knows he's going. I mean, that's as soon as he hits the top of his drop. Look, move that linebacker out because you need that hole there. So you're not telegraphing anything. You're looking there. I need that hole. Keep that linebacker in check. Catches it, and that's a lot of times too, when I see you turn the chest and whatever, a lot of times you can turn that into body catches.
Yep. He does that a little bit.
He does that a little bit. He kind of gets his arms up, but that is a body catch. And so, I mean, you don't love to see that, but I mean, you watch this. I don't feel like that's a bad habit for him. Like, I don't think he has a habit of doing that. It was in this case, he did it, right? Is that getting that right?
Well, he jumped right here because the ball was a little high, right? And instead of extending his arms out, what does that leave? That leaves your whole rib cage open to get slammed by a linebacker. He's not trying to get his ribs broken in preseason. So he jumps up. He jumps up a little bit, and like he's still not like leaving his body like on the field yet. and it's just
Mm.
because like he's a rookie because when he drops a pass later, he puts his arm down to kind of break his fall, and it's like all you had to do was use your other hand to hold on to the ball, and like later on we'll see it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, and so like, and it was like another body catch kind of, and I think he'll kind of maybe get out of that a little bit, but it was a little bit high, so he kind of jumped up to get it, and
Like you
yeah.
said, yeah, that's a good point. You would like to see him extend, use those arms, get up. You're still exposing yourself by extending over the middle, but not in the way you are here. And I mean, I assume we're on the same page. You don't want to see body catches unless you absolutely have to. You'd prefer to see that guy pluck that thing out of the air.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do like a body catch, like make sure you're low to the ground, and so you can just get right on the ground. Because like if it bounces off,
Mhm.
maybe you can kind of curdle it and get under it. Otherwise, like you're gonna have to leave your feet, and then if you get hit the lower half of your body, you're gonna do a helicopter. And so so it's like okay, you know, which one am I gonna take? My ribs get broken, or maybe do a flip. I'd rather do a flip, right? And the
Yeah.
49ers are known for being hard hitters, so
Hmm.
I just think, maybe he'll kind of I'm not even going to say grow out of it because it was only like a couple of times, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
say
yeah. I
it's a
was gonna say
habit at
like
this point.
he definitely did, and he didn't need to do it here, but it doesn't seem like I guess maybe habit's not the right word. It doesn't seem like a fatal flaw. This is not something that
Mhm.
like every single catch. Well, he's trying to do this. It's just a tiny habit that he needs to work out in certain situations, probably more than anything.
Mhm.
All right, this is the interception, so he's going to be here. I think this is probably the one you were talking about earlier. He
Yep,
runs like an hour, right?
it was.
Hey, look at us on
Yeah.
the same page. I mean, that's exactly what you want him to do. I mean, that guy's flat-footed. He doesn't move. Ideally, you'd like to see that speed threaten him, but I mean, you can't impact what that dude does. But he pushes about as far as he can, turns, spins out. I mean, that's about how you want to run that. Again, it'd be nice if
Mhm.
you can move him. And I guess if you want to nitpick, and I mean, what else are we doing here, Lori? I
Yeah,
almost
right at
wouldn't
this
mind seeing
point.
him. Yeah, seriously. Uh, maybe push to the inside, and that guy's shading inside. But if you push a little bit, angle that a little bit, you're pushing the inside shoulder. But maybe you're putting yourself out of position from a timing standpoint. But you want to threaten him vertically, and I mean I think he does that. I think it's just played well. The other guys get paid as well. I mean he pushes vertically as well as he can. He does kind of eat up that space. The guy just doesn't buy it.
Yeah, I think because he tries to eat it up too much, he shuffled his feet like 3 or 4 times before he broke to the outside. So like if you watch, I mean, and like you said, it's nitpick at this point. He's not even getting the ball. Like, can we relax a little bit? Like, but
No,
hey,
Lori.
if
No.
but like if you see right before he turns, he kind of does like a
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. Bum, bum,
one,
bum.
two,
Yeah.
three, four.
Yeah.
Like he takes like 4 steps just to break down and turn. Like, and maybe he's trying to slow it down because he wants the play to develop quicker. So he holds his defender there.
Yeah.
Like maybe he wants the play to develop before he even makes his break. So that could be a reason why he did that too.
Could be. I mean, it is the second time you brought it up though, so that is something. I mean, we've mentioned his footwork a few times now, and he has. It seems like he has the ability to win with a jab step and then stack with speed.
Yeah.
Um, but he also has this. I mean, this is the second or third time this has shown up now with the just I don't know, a little too cute at the top of the stem.
Like
Like
Freddie Flintstone
he's doing 1, 2, 3 triple D.
for
Like
us
just
other 90 kids. Twinkle toes.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's something to keep an eye on for sure. I mean, and then I think this goes off. We might as well just watch the whole thing because I don't like myself very much. Yeah, and this is like he goes up, and this to me, I mean, it goes off his face mask, so it doesn't quite apply. This to me is the other danger of like body catching over the middle is that if you misjudge that sucker, it's getting into your body. And this one was just fired and he misses it. But if you go to body catch and it ricochets off, that sucker can go up. And so that jump that we saw from Dobbs earlier, that's one of the things there as well. If you misjudge that, that's hitting your shoulder pads or chest pads, and that's flying up in the air. So you don't want to see
Yeah.
that. All right.
We only got like three plays left, I think.
Nah, man. Nah, man. No more. He's got 4 more targets. He's got these next 4 in a row, and then I mean, if we want to do the I think 4 after that, we can do that as well because we've got him pulled up. I don't know what your time's looking like tonight, Lori. He's there, and I think he's that, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a guy. I mean, they're shade him inside, man.
Okay, yeah, this was the third one, basically the same exact thing, and they actually give it to him this time.
Yeah,
he runs. It's the same exact concept as the last play.
Yeah,
and they go,
yeah.
"Don't throw it to anybody else except Dobbs. Stop doing that."
Well, and this time too. I mean, the other time, I mean, one of the times we looked at was an RPO, and I can't remember what the other ones were. But this one, I mean, this is kind of when the Packers would traditionally do it, when you give him that space. And some of the other ones, they were not giving him any space whatsoever. I guess the last one, he was a little bit closer, right? He was probably 4 yards or something, so a little bit of space, but not much. Like, he's giving him space here. So you're probably right. He's like, all right, he's got space because there's running like that kind of vertical, I guess, dagger to the other side with the slant under, with the backside concept. That's a little longer developing. So I guess you're looking here. Do I like that matchup? It's 1st and 15. Get whatever yards we can. If that's not open, then you're working that backside concept there.
The cornerback plays this really well.
He does, yeah. He kind of
it's like zone match.
Yeah, and it's not. I would classify this somewhat as trap. It's not really trap because he waits, but he is kind of playing that. He kind of playing that go. But as soon as he sees it out, he bites down on that. And the Packers have been. I mean, the Packers love this concept. Rodgers throws this really well, and we've seen in big moments, especially in playoffs, teams will do that. We're going to give it to him. We're going to give it to him, and then that boundary corner will just come in and eat him. And I mean that was dead anyway. The corner over was playing it, and that ball. I mean, if we're being nitpicky, and this is not on Doubs, that ball needs to be a little more outside. He puts that on him when that needs to be out. But you can also say if he puts it out, he gets murdered. So
yeah. I mean, do a little Jamar Chase, throw it inside, and make run up the seam.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Rodgers has a habit of doing that. Love not so much. But that's another one. If you throw that inside and you throw that a little too far inside, you get a hand on it and it's tipped and you're there. That's a tough one. But yeah, he does, as far as the route's concerned. That's talking about love at this point. As far as the route's concerned, he does well.
He does all he can do at this point.
I feel like that release, I might be wrong here, Lori. That's a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's like he's got kind of a little stutter step there, and then that jab, and then he's out.
Then he turns.
Yeah, better than the twinkle toes release, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to start referring to that now. Is just that's the Flintstone release when he's just you're juking just a little too much at the top of the stem.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Go route, if I'm not mistaken.
10 single side.
I was going to say, so you've got the kind of trips that side. He's over there, and I think he's just going to try to win outside. And that's tough to tell. It's pretty much straight up, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's like he is inside the numbers. Corner, get outside. Get outside. What are you doing? Like, he's selling it pre-snap, like, already. Like, he's inside the numbers. So he's giving himself the whole outside of the field. And the corner is still, like, straight up. Like, if the corner just lines up a little more to the outside, he pushes him in to the 3 players in the middle of the field.
Well, I was going to say, they've got, it looks too high. They end up, so you've got the too high there. They end up spinning, so that goes single high. And that's the whole thing with single high, right? Is you want to play outside to funnel everything to that single high guy. So, like, too high, if you've got a cap on that, maybe you drop that, depending on the coverage and all that, you can drop that guy a little wider. Against single high, you want to muscle that guy inside, and they're playing more a little that side as well. But
I think he would have played it fine if he was lined up a little more outside the numbers, but he was lined up inside. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, and from Dobbs' perspective, I think he does well. Like, that guy's playing him straight up. He's got the little release at the line, but by the time the ball's out, like, he's won. He's a yard and a half deep, and that's, I mean, it's a fight down the sideline. It's a fight at the line of scrimmage. He fights him a little. The guy's got hands on him. He gets into the body, disengages. But I mean, the ball's out here. He's getting ready to throw the ball. He's got separation. The ball's underthrown. Yeah. The reason it ends up like that ball's thrown inside a little bit, and he can't hang on. And you can argue whether or not he should have hung on to that. Probably should have. But overall, like that's a solid route for that was like fighting all the way. But by the time the ball's in the air, that you want to see like what separation when the ball's in the air, separation at the catch point. I mean, he does that very well here. I
Yeah.
think.
If you go to the, can we view the other angle?
We sure can.
He does a good job fighting through the physicality here, and then right now he has to kind of go in. So that's another body catch. Okay, which I don't like.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
He left the ground. Wait, is this the play where? Okay, no, this isn't the play where he breaks his fall. But yeah, another body catch. Like, was it defensive pass interference? He kind of holds his arm a little bit.
So this ends up being there's a flag there, and they call for you. So my belief, no, I don't believe this is just a homer call. I think this should have been pass interference because he kind of hooks him and he grabs him while the ball's in the air. They end up
Yeah.
calling illegal contact like down here or something. So it is
Okay.
a call on here, but it ends
Okay.
up being a 5-yarder. But I think he is interfered with. But you're right. I mean, so what? Because I think his arm's getting grabbed there, but he's still, even if his arm isn't grabbed there, he's still looking to basket catch that.
100%. Like
Yeah.
his pinkies are touching. If he was trying to go up,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
that's a little bit of the value that I bring. So
Listen, man. As far as I'm concerned, you've brought nothing but value, Lori. I've gotten smarter. I've gotten a lot smarter. So I appreciate that. All right, this is gonna be, so he's left. I think he's the underman here, right? And I think this is gonna be. I think he's gonna kind of break in and cut out, if I'm not mistaken. So Amari Rogers is like the top man. It's like double mirrored stack.
this would have been.
Yeah, this is the interception. This is the interception. So like he works. He's got the outside.
This
It's a
was an
nice,
interception. That was called a pick.
yeah. So he goes up, and we'll look at this from the other angle, I guess, and then we'll come back to it. Because he ends up with the ball. So he goes up with it. It's kind of an awkward catch where he goes up, but he ends up coming inside to catch it.
Well, this is what I was saying. He braces his fall. Yeah, so if you see, he puts his arm down because he's falling, and then that's when he gets ripped from him because he puts his arm down to brace his fall. You see
right
that?
there. Yep.
What are you doing? That's what you have to like leave on the field. Yeah, and then the cornerback takes it.
Well, that's 3rd and 6. So if he catches that, he still looks like he's a little short, but like you're trying to get the first down there, like just hang on to that ball, man. It's not the best throw.
Oh no, it was.
We'll go back to it because that ball. I mean, and again, kind of the same thing. And some of the thing that bothers me, like that ball needs to be.
He didn't lead him at all.
That ball needs to be there.
Yeah, like look how wide open he is.
Yeah, he beats him out. I mean, that's the thing. Initially, he does everything right on this. He's got the inside. It eats up. He breaks. He's got it. Like if that ball is here.
Oh yeah.
He's able to catch that and turn, and you're getting the first down plus a couple extra. You got nothing else out there. I mean, if you break a tackle, that's. I mean, I'm not that optimistic, but you catch that, you turn, you've got the first down. That's 7 or 8 yards on 3rd and 6, and that's a success. Instead, he has to go up over the body of that guy.
Completely 180.
Yeah,
to catch that. Like what?
I mean, that's
what a beautiful adjustment.
No, hell of an adjustment. Tremendous adjustment. He can't finish it. But I mean, again, like this is one you can put some of that on him again. Like you said, the trying to catch himself, all of that. You've got the, just kind of some of that. But like really, if this ball's out here, we're not even talking about this because he does what he needs to do. I mean, and what he needs to do, I mean, to be clear, what he needs to do here, that guy, because they're playing this, they're playing that.
It's like a rub route.
Yeah. And so he's got inside there. What he needs to do is create separation with the cut and keep it to the outside. And he does that. He's out there. You put that out. He's got the hands. You catch that going to the sideline. We've seen that with Rodgers 1,000 times with Devontae. You see that. I've seen that on 4th and 4, and it picks up 5. Like that. That's just always the case. That ball goes to the sideline. You catch it. You get enough time. You turn up. You got it. There's certainly things to get Doubs on there, but it's a tremendous acrobatic catch when it shouldn't have had to be. And he should have held on to it for sure. I mean, that's a good and bad rep, I think, from him. But if that ball's where it needs to be, where we're not talking about anything other than He
Yeah.
does what he needs to do there, and we're good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is his last target, and he is the underman in the stack there, and he's running. I think he's running just like a quick out. I've got this tagged as drift. I think that's on the other side. Yeah, then it's not there. But he runs a deep out, and he's kind of the secondary read there. And again, this is one. Let's see. I'll watch this again. He pushes. He turns. He sells the vertical. It's where I'm sitting, Laurie, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, he turns him. It's a really nice recovery by that corner. I think he's a little slow out of the break. He takes a few too many steps there. The ball's underthrown. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that rep right there?
So I think that he knew that he was going outside, and like if he would have sold the vertical better, then the defender would have been closer to him.
Okay.
But the defender is kind of like, his job is the whole quarter of the field, like
right
from the numbers to the sideline. So I think he could have moved him a little bit better because he knew that he was going outside and he had no leverage at all. The throw was 100% behind him. Okay,
well,
so
it's also late. It's a bit late as well.
Yeah. So like he had no chance, but also like, yeah, I agree with you that the cornerback did it. You know, he shows like really fluid hips here. He gets around.
Well, because he's flipped, and the way he gets back. I mean, that turn there. I'd say that's rare because you've seen that, but he goes from flipped to completely back in position in about 2 steps. Like that's pretty impressive. That's impressive movement.
But he already knew though that he has help over the top, so he like this is his job. His job is the outside the number, so he's already anticipating that. And if Doubs goes vertical, then he's saying "oh shit" to himself. He's not saying "oh shit" when he runs to the outside because he's saying perfect. Like this is what I wanted him to do because he has no leverage right now. But he didn't really move him with a head fake, with an extra step to the inside.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So, like, if maybe he could have made it like the quarterback could have made it competitive for him at least a little bit.
But he also could have done a better job at creating.
Yeah, he could have at least looked inside. Like, look inside right now. Look at that safety so that the corner goes a little bit towards takes an extra step. Instead, he doesn't. He just prepares for the breakdown and turns.
Yeah, and where he wants to go initially is to the middle. It's that play action. You're looking for that dig, and that sucker's not there. Those linebackers, that's part of what killed the Packers in that divisional game. They were not biting on any play action. Like, there's nothing. There's nowhere to throw that ball. But, I mean, that's just – there's a lot of things that went wrong. He was a bit late on the delivery. The ball is inside. Doubs doesn't really do a good job at separating.
I mean, like, I think, you know, this is nitpicking, you know, because I think his breakdown was smooth if he wasn't, like, I mean, like, you are right. The corner is definitely, he's facing inside. Look, he's not even close to being square, you know, like
he's going to say his hips are completely
his recovery.
flipped.
Yeah, like,
because it looks like to me, I mean, from this step here, what you would normally see when he's cutting out, and I mean, like you said, he's looking for it, he's prepared, so that likely factors in. Generally, when I see a corner like this, his movement is this. You've got to like, you're turning in your direction to cut back. Instead, he has the ability, like he jams that foot, pivots back.
You see how the corner turned, though. He completed his turn before Doubs completed his.
Yeah, he basically runs that route at this point.
Like, see how he's already on his back foot, and he's already now, and Doubs didn't even fully complete his turn yet. So maybe he looked a little bit too late to I mean, the ball definitely came out late. So not to like, you know, I definitely want to make that clear. But maybe Doubs.
I was saying if he throws outside, they have it, but he's in position that even if that ball is where it needs to be, he's still in position there. Like he's just got that covered up.
It would have been a hell of a competition to get that. Like, it would have been a good dogfight, like in, you know, a matter of 2 seconds to see what would have happened if Love didn't botch this throw. But I mean,
Yeah.
maybe like you said,
Sorry.
maybe it was for the not that maybe you said this, but maybe it was for the better because the corner had really good positioning if it was thrown outside too. So,
Yeah.
but he didn't give it. He didn't even give Dobbs a chance.
No, he didn't. No, and that's the thing. We've seen, I mean, going back to college, and then we saw, granted, he dropped it, but the interception, the previous play we looked at, kind of strong at the attack point. Like he has the ability to go up and at least get hands on those 50-50 balls. So if you give him a
Yeah.
chance, he has the ability to do that. But like, I mean, hand is here. Like there's zero chance right here for
Yeah.
him. He doesn't have the ability to fight through anything given his positioning. So
Exactly.
he gets no more targets. We've got 4 left. You want to do
Hmm.
this, Lori? You ready? You ready?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. I think this is 2nd and 10. I think it's like,
Curl. Oh no, stacked inside the numbers.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
he doesn't do anything.
he's running out. That's kind of I don't know. There's 1,000 different ways. I almost classify that as like a kind of a cross country dagger thing. But he's kind of pushing, and then he's hitting that follow. That ball's out quick. This is one of those. It's hard for me to tell exactly like how to talk about this one, because you want him kind of to explode out of there, because you're taking it there, and then you want to operate in the gap created, and he
Yeah.
doesn't really. He's not very
He
strong.
doesn't plant and turn.
No,
Like
he's rounded out of the break there.
Yeah.
And which gives the defender over the top an ability to kind of catch up. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. I think I would like to see a little more kind of suddenness out of that break on that route, that you're eating up space, and then you're taking off that. You want to create that kind of at the top of the route.
Yeah, I mean, generally against zone, like you don't see a ton of guys do that, like unless like they need to get in that zone quickly. But I just feel like that the guy under the defender underneath plays this so well that
Yeah.
if he would have made a hard cut, either he would have ran into him or the line of sight wouldn't have been there, and it still wasn't there either. So
I was going to say it's played well either way. He's
yeah,
not getting that either way.
exactly.
And again, part of this then is like he turns and the ball's already out, and so it's kind of a who cares at this point. Like you kind of give up what you're doing.
I have noticed though that there is more rounding out in the turns and less of like plant and cut, the suddenness. Like he definitely has a suddenness like at his release when he's coming off the line of scrimmage. But it seems more of like a breakdown and turn, like in less of a like boom boom, like like a sudden. So I definitely agree with you there.
Okay.
Like overall.
That's all I'm looking for, Lori. I'm looking for you to agree with me.
There you go. That's it. So this is the 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3.
It's a curl here. He's on the bottom of your screen.
Which, I mean, yeah, so he's doing kind of a curl flat, Hank, whatever the devil you want to call it.
He's killing 2 defenders with 1 break.
Yeah,
and he doesn't 2 birds with 1 stone.
He doesn't really get up there, but it's 2 birds with 1 break. I like it. He doesn't get there. The guy gets free, but like, I don't know. Yeah, on that, basically, yeah, you're trying to create a wall more than anything. That ball rarely goes to there. You're trying to create interference so you get there, because it's 3rd and 3. You just want that ball to go to the flat.
Yeah, like unless that linebacker blitzes, you're not getting that ball.
No. So he you're not really looking for separation at that point, right? You're just looking for. The phrase I always want to use is like, you want to create interference, but then that makes it sound like I want them to create offensive pass interference. That's not it. It's like you're creating static in the middle to try to free up this guy.
Yeah, exactly. You're like creating space outside, like the negative space is what you want.
Yeah.
So like, hang on me. I don't care.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. I'm not getting this ball anyway.
Yeah.
Feels like he does fine. I mean, he doesn't get he doesn't get there, but the guy that 33 plays it well, kind of goes over.
Kind of leads into him a little bit, tries to get him to hit his own guy.
Yeah. He ties him up. That's fine. Yeah. That one seems basically fine. This one, he's on the right, kind of as the ISO guy, and I think he's just that guy outside. I think he's just trying to like that looks like a dig, but he's running a slant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little slant flat.
If he just waited, if Love just gave him 1 more second.
My gosh. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, with there's no motion there. You don't have an indicator, but based on, well, you can't really see it based on alignment, but you got feet straight up. Like you're looking down there and you're seeing what's initial movement. Because if that's man, all you're looking for is once that guy takes the flat and you clear the flat window, if he can win against the guy with outside shade, you've got that. Unless this safety, I was pointing with my finger like people knew where I was pointing on screen. Like unless that guy blitzed the alley, which he's not, you've got that open. And so at that point, you're looking, is this man, what's that linebacker doing? If he's taking the flat, I've got the window. All I have to do is wait for this window to open, and I've got that.
I think maybe he's thinking that it's zone. The quarterback is thinking maybe the corner is in zone and he's going to wait and the linebacker is going to wait. So I'm going to throw it to the flat because, it's zone and everybody in zone, you're waiting for the breaks to happen.
Well, and that's all, but that'd be all like pre-snap conjecture, right? Like that's what, like if that's
it's hard to tell.
If you're looking at, and maybe he is, I mean, he's looking here, and that guy's kind of slow playing it a little bit, and so you move off of that. So, yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, if he had waited until that breakdown, he had him. I mean, as far as
he had the time.
If he had it's a 4-man rush. I mean,
yeah,
that guy's winning a little bit, but he's steering him wide. I think he's got him. He's got the time. It looks like probably a free alley there as well.
Which is a little scary.
Yeah. Well, he's got the arm talent. Well, so he's got the arm talent, but he's may have been a little inconsistent on that. But I mean, he could hit that based on what he's got. He could hit that, but whatever. Okay, so against outside, he's attacking the inside. What do you think is a release at the top there? Is that he's got the couple tiny little steps to eat up space? Fine. And then just that split and hit inside. I mean, the like I said, kind of suddenness on the cut. He takes those few quick steps off the line, but when he cuts, it's a jab step, and then he's gone.
Yeah, no, I think that was good.
Yeah, I think it was too. For a slant, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, and like I think he takes his time a little bit to get his running back out in the flat.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of wants to maybe beeline right towards that linebacker.
Yeah. Last one, man. You ready?
Last one. Let's do it.
He is down here. I think he's running little curl comebacker, if I'm not mistaken.
Inside zone. And look, he points to him. Inside.
Inside, yeah. Speed this up. There we go.
So
and he gives a little jab step to kind of get that room to the outside. But even then, so this one's confusing to me.
It's confusing to me too.
Because he gives the jab step. He cuts outside. So he knows this guy here. What am I doing? This guy here, he's trying to stack him to the inside. He knows that guy's staying inside. So the cut should be there. But the cut's here. He cuts back into, basically he created a bunch of space to the inside, then he negated all of that when he comes back to it. Am I wrong?
Because of the safety, though.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think he was going to go for a fly,
That's still, I don't know.
But then he sees the safety, and I think he cuts it back. But then he turns to the inside.
I was going to say that's my thing. If that's an adjust based on safety, I'm like totally cool with that. But you just created space, like you did all that work to keep that man inside of you. That cut should be out.
Yeah, that's what confused me.
But yeah,
and maybe I'm not. I didn't play in the NFL. I didn't coach in the NFL.
What?
Like. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. No, I haven't played. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this could be. I don't know where you sit again. A lot of this stuff I don't know exactly what conversations they had, what they were talking about. This could be a thinking too hard. If you're looking go route, if you're thinking I'm hitting that, if the safety does that, if the safety's capping, if they're middle field open, if they're capping me, then I do this. If this, then this. If it's kind of a little more mechanical for a rookie, this is one that I feel like a more seasoned receiver, like the little nuance on that is you cut that out instead of cutting that in. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Is you're stacking a man to the inside and then you cut to the inside. But like I said, that could just be, and they didn't get specific on this. This is when LaFleur and Rodgers have both said. Two men ran the wrong routes because this is the Amari Rodgers interception in the middle. Two men ran the wrong routes on this. So this was done on Love. I think it's on Love. So I assume Doubs is one of them. And they're saying the other one I think is, so what Amari Rodgers does here, this guy's playing in. And I think what Rodgers wanted him to do,
Just
which
go
that guy's
straight.
there, is cut up.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Then
instead,
the
he
inside
works
guy
over
cuts.
the top. So if you watch him, he kind of muscles his way over, runs that over, and then Love throws that, and it gets picked. What Rodgers wanted him to do was like he needs to cut that out up, and you got the seam.
Yeah, exactly.
But and he said 2 wrong routes, and Amari was the one. I'm thinking Doubs was probably the other one.
I mean, or instead of him sitting the guy to the left of him, maybe he should have been the one that cut down, and then that guy should have ran the seam, like you said. Because I don't
Someone
know.
needed to be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the safety is over top of Dobbs. So I mean, unless you're throwing to two coverage or double coverage, which seems unlikely.
Well, and that gets into. I mean, I don't know. I look at the dominoes there. If we're thinking Dobbs runs that to tie up him, you can attack the seam there. But that's a couple different adjusts in a preseason game.
I'm gonna have to look at the playbook and see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have one like from this year or anything, but maybe there's something in there. Because it could be a number of guys here that are running.
Well, and it also could be over here. I mean, if you think Amari should be attacking, that's fine. That's a whatever. But you're also, if you're thinking you want to attack the seam, I don't know. When I think attack the seam, I think of you think of the single high, the middle field closed defenses. This is too high, which means you got to tie this guy up with someone, and no one's going vertically there. You've got to tie that guy up with vertically, and you want something to kind of open up there. Would be my thought. And so if you're thinking, and maybe that's it, it's less seam and more. You've got this, and ideally you'd want him to threaten a little more. You tie up him, and then if Amari, instead of cutting there, kind of cuts up the middle, and then Dobbs ties up. You still need someone because he's looking there at that point. This is a whole lot of writing on the screen. But if you if you keep
like
those
the Madden
outside,
back in the day.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
If that guy at the top of the screen runs a double move and ties up that safety, then he runs a seam. That's wide open.
Well, and this to me, I mean, it's not at this point. I'm looking at a bunch of different guys and going, well, if this guy did this guy did this.
Yeah,
but this is a lot of what they will do out of this formation is you do vertical, tie those guys, and then this is typically the middle read. And so against too high, it's that. Against single high, it's you cut that off in front. And so that's almost so that's this is not that middle read look. But this is if you're looking at what that typical adjust is out of here versus the middle field open, you're expecting that kind of cut to split. And he doesn't do that. And ultimately, for that route, it doesn't matter because once these cut off, both of these safeties start looking back in. So if Rodgers cuts that up inside, that thing's dead anyway, just because these are not vertical.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I thought this was relatively simplistic. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was Dobbs turning the wrong way, but just throw us on the screen, and you never know what could come out of it. So
listen, I've got a lot of thoughts about what this could be, I guess.
Well, don't give me the telestrator.
Next time, man. Next time. Well, Lori, we did a lot. We did a whole lot. I appreciate you sticking with me for, my God in heaven, an hour and 22 minutes, Lori. We've been talking. That's not what we were doing before. This is just since we've been recording. It's been an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah. I gotta go.
All right,
no,
dude.
Man, it's been great. It's been good though. So hopefully we keep doing these because I loved it.
I'm up for doing it again, and maybe a shorter one next time. But I'm definitely up for doing it again. I learned a ton.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody else enjoyed it as well, and they don't think it was too long or they fell asleep. So
I got
definitely,
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it did not, but we'll see.
Let me know.
All right, dude. Yeah, we'll do it again, Lori. This was amazing. Thank you so much, dude.
Yep. I'll see you later.
All right, dude. All right, big up to Lori. I don't know who's still around. Big up to Lori for staying around. If you do not follow her, in fact, let's see. Do I have a banner? I have a banner. Follow her. Follow her work over at Touchdown Wire because she does incredible work along with Mark Schofield and Doug Farrar. And hopefully we'll be doing this again, like she said, just because I think she's amazing and brings a ton of insight that I do not specifically bring to this stuff. So big up to Lori. Big up to you for watching. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll do some more of these in the future. And I guess we'll see you next time if there's a next time. Thank you.